Hey everybody, it's Jim here. In the last week, I had planned to finally sit and finish tracking for 2 projects that I was working on, about 12 songs total. Things didn't go exactly as planned due to sicknesses and other kind of things that have popped up that have taken my time and attention away from it. However, I did get some stuff done, but what I really wanted to focus on today is being honest with yourself, with your practice regime, and being able to identify what you need to work on and really what I need to work on. But I'd like to start off with some of the positive habits that I've noticed that have really made a difference in both my technique and as far as my physiology goes. Yeah, that actually is a thing. And I say that because a few months ago, I made a video about the Corey Wong Masterclass, and I said one of the best takeaways that I had from that was stretching and how effective it is. Once you do your warm-up runs, whether you're doing spider runs, whether you're doing arpeggios, whether you're doing whatever it is to get your left hand and your right hand in sync, making sure to take 5 full minutes after that initial warm-up to really stretch out your fingers, your wrists, and your arms. All of my soreness is gone from that. It is amazing how much longer I'm able to play because of it, and I highly recommend whether you're gonna be recording, just practicing, trying to improve, or getting ready to go out and play, warm up correctly. Stretch out your hands and your fingers. Don't skip stretching. The second point I'd like to hit on is making the most of the gear that you already have, because you may be surprised what it can do that it isn't normally intended to do, and fighting off the urge to purchase a new product to make up for it. Strymon recently released a bunch of updated versions of their very popular pedals like the Deco, the Flint, the Blue Sky was the one that caught my eye because I don't have a dedicated reverb pedal anymore, and it never was the biggest deal for me because I relied on 2 reverb from the amps. But since the Music Man's reverb hasn't been working lately and I hadn't used that to record, a lot of the stuff, believe it or not, has been going through the Ruby, so I wanted something that I could use after that, going direct into the interface. I wanted to buy the Blue Sky really bad, I really did. But before I pulled the trigger on it, I said, you know what, I'm gonna try and make something that I have work out. I have the Earthquaker Devices Astral Destiny, which you wouldn't necessarily consider something for a traditional reverb sound because it's more kind of shimmers and ambient-ish. But if you really messed with that, it sounded pretty good. I was very happy with those results, but the thing that I ended up sticking with here was just the Volante. That's a delay and a looper. That has its own independent spring reverb. On one of the presets with the multi-switch, I made it strictly spring reverb. Sounds fantastic, saved myself, what, 400 bucks? To call that a win. And finally, regarding the gear itself, I can't have any excuses. Everything I have sounds amazing. It's totally on me. Anything else that I would purchase at this point, really, it's a luxury item. I have more than enough to create a good record. And even if I removed a lot of the gear that I do have, I'd still be just fine. So, on to some of the actual negatives and the important part that seems to get overlooked on YouTube, and that is the actual playing itself. I play a lot for YouTube. I have a lot of fun doing it. I have a great experience with kind of coming up with things on the spot, and it forces a creative side out of me that I didn't used to have because I don't want to keep playing the same exact riffs over and over and over for you guys. I'm sure you'd get ear fatigue from that kind of thing. But one thing that I have not been doing as much, and it became very obvious to me once I was starting to seriously record again, I have not been practicing to a click track. Yep. And it's inexcusable. Quite frankly, it really is, especially as somebody who started off as a drummer. But mainly, you can't hide when you're actually recording. You can be a little bit behind the beat or ahead or on top, but as far as just straight up consistency goes, I really need to improve on that. And I recommend whenever you're working on something, you're doing basic exercises, no matter what they are, it could be ones that I mentioned from the warm-up section earlier in this video, play to a click track. I'm gonna start doing that again. You don't have to spend any money on that. You can get a free metronome on your phone. You can just go to onlinemetronome.com, I believe is the websites. You can have it on your computer, just bring it up. It is worth it and it will pay off in spades. I used to do it, I've slacked off, I'm not doing it so much. Lesson learned. The next bad habit I found myself getting into was trying to do too much with the actual recording itself. It's tempting to sit and have 4 different ways of your signal being recorded between AB boxes, digitally through the Ruby, as well as mic'd up in the room with the 57 and a condenser mic as well, plus a DI from the canvas of a clean sound going out into the interface. It gets to the point where it's so convoluted, and then even if you nail it, after you're done, you're just kind of sitting there like, all right, I gotta pick between all this, and almost you have too many options. So one thing that I've found is when I find something that just works tonally, it could just be the Jaguar into the Ruby straight up, nothing else. If I hit it and it sounds good, just commit to it. It's something I used to do a lot, but I think I've fallen into kind of the trap of having too many options and wanting to have too many safeguards, so to speak. I do think it is in your best interest to record a clean DI at the very least, but if I was gonna be doing this again, and when I do this again and continue to have time to do so, probably late at night because the Ruby is that good, I can do it then, I'm only gonna be having 2 inputs into it. I'm just gonna go the one colored sound from the Universal Audio and then the one DI'd sound from the Canvas, because simplicity really is a godsend. And another thing that you can keep in mind here is when you do it just a 2 kind of track method like that with a clean signal on top of a regular signal, you can go in after the fact and add in sorts of plugins from like Neural DSP or anything you want to do. You even have the option, if you send it to a good producer/engineer, they could reamp it at their place and really dial in something cool on their end. I've had that work from the past before. It's just maybe sometimes get your head out of that area of it and work on the performance itself. But the final and most important thing that I realized this week, I am not happy with where I am as a guitar player right now. I'm not saying that, to self-deprecate myself or anything like that. I'm just being honest with myself. I hold myself to a high standard with pretty much everything I do in my life, and being honest and objective, I have slacked off. There have been so many things that I've worked on that I had nailed. Stop practicing them. I got it. Don't worry about it. Worrying about filming some other stuff. Got really big into the product demos for a little while, which is something that's gonna change over the long term here. I don't know how many more we're gonna have for a multitude of reasons. We're gonna try and pivot out of that for this channel. But you have to put all of that time into maintaining what you learn. The theory sticks with you for the most part. That's pretty easy. But when it comes to the techniques and when you're really, really doing things in a serious and professional environment, being second best isn't gonna cut it. You have to really be on top of your game. Otherwise, you might be in a position where you're putting out something and, a year later, 6 months later, 10 years later, you say, man, this could have been a lot better. And that's something that I really, really don't want to do. I do not like looking at things that way. For me, I just need to do more to improve as a guitar player, to continue to grow as a guitar player, and to also practice better, practice smarter, and really put the time in. However, with all that being said, at the end of the day, I had a lot of fun actually sitting down and recording. I wasn't doing as many videos as you saw. The channel kind of slowed down, which, from a standpoint of a business kind of thing, probably wasn't the best time for that. I did have some decent momentum, but honestly, I do this for fun, you guys, and I can't thank you all enough. I have to mention that when I announced it was my anniversary, so many of you guys left nice and caring and, loving comments for us, and I really do. I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you, and part of the reason that I keep coming back to film these silly videos of me monologuing into a camera is because I like a lot of you guys. You guys are awesome. You treat me good. I have so much fun providing entertainment for you all, and I can hope to continue to do that into the future going forward. And this will be the last time that you see the Fender Custom Shop 63 Jaguar on this channel. As of filming, it has been sold. It's going to be shipped off right after this to its new owner in California. I hope that you love this instrument as much as I do. But that's enough of my rambling for one day. I appreciate all of you guys. Seriously, thank you so much for everybody who supports this channel and continues to support this channel. And I don't know where this journey is going, territory, but I'm happy that you're along for the ride, and I hope to continue, making you guys happy and giving you stuff that you find interesting enough to continue to click on. Leave a like on the video, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy, everybody.